Hello and welcome to the Punchline. I'm your Comic Strip Critic, and today we're going to be talking about not that I notice. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a comic centering around an important institution, libraries, and thus it's appropriate that I was introduced to today's comic through a library. The one in my high school, in fact. See, back in high school, the lunchroom was a bit of a disaster area, so I tended to spend lunch in the library, mostly reading Star Trek tie-in novels, but I also took advantage of their surprisingly large amount of comics, be it American comics like Marvel and DC, or Japanese manga like Case Closed and Death Note. But while trawling through the stacks one day, I discovered a collection of comic strips that revolved around a library. Unshelved was a daily comic strip launched in 2002 by Gene Ambaum and Bill Barnes, with Barnes doing the art. Originally titled Overdue, the strip ran for a remarkable 14 years before ending in 2016, and released several collections over the years, including the one compiling the storyline we're looking at today, Library Mascot Cage Match. But before we get into the storyline, you're going to want some backstory on the strip. The strip focuses on an ensemble of characters who either work or patronize the Mallville Public Library. The cast of the strip includes Dewey, the young adult librarian named after Melville Dewey, the inventor of the Dewey Decimal System, with a love for pop culture and a distaste for authority, Tamara, a new-agey hippie children's librarian, Colleen, the reference librarian with a cantankerous streak, mainly when it comes to technology, and her inability/refusal to adapt to using it, Buddy the Book Beaver, who is a guy in a mascot costume initially hired to promote summer reading, and just kinda stuck around, never taking off the suit, and Mel, the manager who tries to keep all the crazy personalities of her employees in check. Recurring patrons include Merv, a teenage prankster who is friends with Dewey, and Ned, a nudist lawyer who hangs around in his birthday suit because he's exercising his civil rights. Characters came and went over the strip's 14-year run, and the type of strip would vary, either being a short storyline, gag-a-days, or every Friday, in the later years, a strip reviewing and promoting a book. I personally enjoyed quite a few of their recommendations, but the collection we're looking at today takes place in the early years of the strip in 2004, so it's before they went to color. No, I understand. We'll do what we can. The system was unable to secure funding. If we want a summer reading program, we'll have to do it ourselves. Maybe this is a sign that kids don't need extra motivation to read. What are you doing this summer? Catching up on my video games? I've really let them slide this school year. As I explained earlier, Buddy was hired on initially to promote summer reading, so he's all in to help again. Buddy, will you be our summer reading program mascot again? I'd be honored. Now we just need a theme. How about Buddy 2, Beaver's Revenge? I was hoping for something more literary. Beaver Tales? Nod off while reading? Buddy's Bloody Book Bash. I've got one. Read some damn books, kids. Too much? Unfortunately, the Book Beaver idea is also on the minds of another library system, Dollartown, and they send Buddy a cease and desist order over the trademark of Book Beaver. You'd think, since Buddy predated their campaign, that Mallville is in the clear, but unfortunately that's not the case. The Dollartown branch is suing us over our mascot? But we had him first. Apparently, they had a Bucky the Book Beaver back in the 50s. If only we could afford a lawyer to sort this out for us. On the other hand, there's no dishonor in capitulation. I do all my rodent work pro bono. Professional courtesy. Of course, professional courtesy doesn't include pants. That costs extra. No, I think I'm fine. Oh God, no! Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna settle things the old-fashioned way. Active listening? Consensus building? Interlibrary cooperation? Library Mascot Cage Match. I'm submitting a request for more stuffing. And we got a title, folks. On the one hand, it's hard to critique the art in this, given that I know just how amazing it'll look in the future, but for the strip's earlier years, it's pretty solid. The characters all have distinct shapes so that you can tell the difference in black and white, and there's excellent use of shading to make the panels come to life. A few strips have excessive white space, but that is by far the exception rather than the rule, so the few strips that do have it, you don't even notice it's there. Library Mascot Cage Match. 2 beavers enter, 1 beaver leaves. You needed a lawyer for this? I negotiated the lucrative merchandising rights. Violence is never the best solution. You're in charge of the decorations. Boys will be boys. That's pretty much all it takes for Tamara. Give her a chance to decorate and she'll go along with just about anything. Dewey, what if I lose? You forfeit all rights to the Buddy the Book Beaver name and image. What would people call me? Would I have to take off my costume? Well, you could change your name to Bidoof, or HM Slave. Interestingly enough, Buddy was originally a woodchuck, but they hired him because the costume was close enough and they were really crunched on time. Did I mention that he legally changed his name to Buddy the Book Beaver? This comic is great. In the past 2 years, Colleen took a vacation near the beginning of the summer. The first time, they hired Buddy. The second time, Buddy remodeled the library overnight. This time, Colleen decides to keep apprised of the weirdness in Malville. Let's see what's going on in the world. And in the world of the wacky, the town of Malville is sponsoring a library mascot cage match to settle a trademark dispute with... Gah! Right. When on vacation, ignorance is bliss. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Library Mascot Cage Match. Annual? Keeping our franchising options open. The long-awaited grudge match between Dollartown and Malville will resolve a dispute over the Book Beaver trademark. Grudge match? Builds audience participation. In this corner, with 3 murder allegations and no convictions, brutal Bucky Beaver. You guys are really laying it on thick. I need to talk to Buddy. Actual footage of Buddy before the match.
Man, I ain't going in there.
Buddy's pretty scrappy, so you'd think he has a shot, but unfortunately, intelligence is not his strong suit. So he accepts muscle relaxers from Bucky's coach and spends the entire match stoned out of his gourd. Buddy looks funny. Funnier than usual. He's relaxed. Very relaxed. Transcendental meditation? His opponent slipped him a Mickey. Wow, Buddy knows Drunken Master fighting technique. What are you doing here? I have the soft drink concession. Fresca. Buddy, wake up. Buddy, wake up. Buddy, wake up. I guess I lost. I'm sorry I let everyone down. No way, man. You won. You get to keep your name. Was it my Drunken Master fighting technique? Sort of. Bucky punched you in the stomach and you threw up on him. He was so skeeved he quit. George Foreman should have tried that in his Rumble in the Jungle match against Muhammad Ali. All's well that ends well, with Dewey and Merv fielding challenges from other library mascots like the Video Velociraptor, CD Centipede, and DVD Dwarf. I think it's an homage to Billy Barty. I don't think I buy a teenager in 2004 knowing who Billy Barty is. Although, he did play Figment in the original Journey into Imagination, so I think I'll just give it to him. Unshelved is a brilliant webcomic, and this storyline is just a small sample of what the comic has to offer. In the years following, they got better and better until they went out while they were still on top of the game. Ambaum and Barnes' writing, Barnes' amazing expressive artwork, and the diverse cast of characters, both library staff and patrons, show why Unshelved is one of my favorite comic strips of all time. Not quite up there with, like, Calvin and Hobbes, because no one is, but pretty dang close. I highly recommend for you guys to check this strip out, either on their website or through their printed collections. And if you're starved for new comics when Unshelved ends, just go on over to Ambaum's second library-themed webcomic, Library Comic, with art by Chris Halbeck of Mini and Maximumble fame, but who also took over the art near the end of Unshelved's run, due to Bill Barnes taking a step back to focus on his coding and software work full-time. Library Comic isn't quite as good as Unshelved since it lacks the strip's history and characters that I grew to adore, but it's a fair replacement for the Unshelved-shaped hole in my heart. I'm your comic strip critic, and I read the funny pages in the hopes that someday they're all as funny as Unshelved. I think you're just paranoid.
Yo, Holmes, what up?
What up with you?
What we gonna say? What we gonna do? Where we gonna go? What we gonna see?
We're going to the library. I'm moving down the aisle with my homies in tow. We're grooving in the home of the librarian. Yo! She checks us out from behind thick glasses. We walk right past and we wiggle our asses. Hemingway, Lawrence, Chekhov, and Miller. Fitzgerald was a freak. Mailer is a killer. Quiet, please! Quiet, please! The silence is golden. To books I am beholden. I know I'm bad because of the knowledge that I'm holding. And I give you one warning, there will be no repeats. Get out of my face while I'm reading my keys.